All right, y'all. Up next with Rob Dollars, and this is the comeback segment. A little bit of my 2 cents on what I've been seeing and hearing from, the media. I want to start off right away by saying if I'm a little bit rude to some of these people, it's just colorful language. I respect everybody who I'm talking about. They all have way more experience with professional sports in a more intimate way than I do, so I don't want to disparage them. But as somebody who does appreciate the sport, watches it consistently, I have my own take, and this is what it is. So here we go. Um, so on the get up, they did their little rap on the games. Kansas City Ravens, they definitely just basically piled on basically on how great Kansas City's defense was. Um, how Baltimore forgot that they're an actual running team. Um, and yeah, I think that there was a lot of extra credit though given to Patrick Mahomes um, by all of them. It was Rex, Ryan Clark, um, of course Greeny. Uh, I don't remember if Dan Orlovsky was there. I don't think so. Maybe he was, but either way, doesn't matter. Like I said, the whole table was like all for Mahomes, and of course I'm a Patrick Mahomes fan, but giving him the lion's share of the credit for the win, that's just blasphemous. It's like you're really just geeking out and being straight fanboy because I saw the defense win that game. I saw the defense hold the Ravens to a single score. Yeah, single score in the second half. I don't understand what we're talking about. I don't understand how Patrick Mahomes who's the quarterback, who's responsible for making the offense go, and an offense that scored nothing in the second half. I don't see how you can give him the lion's share of a victory. That's just he played half a game basically. That's just silly talk. You know what? I'm not gonna beat it up because again, I don't want to act like I don't like Patrick Mahomes. I like him a lot. I just think their take is ridiculous. They started off right because again, Kansas City's defense was the stars, but then they melted down and started being nut huggers. I was like, never mind, I'm off that. I respect people. I don't hug nuts. Have a nice day. Um, then I had to call a flag. This is a more serious one. I had a flag on the play. Greeny gonna come out and be supported by Ryan Clark, who I respect highly, and say, yeah, Patrick Mahomes, elite, best ever game manager. Pause. Every single time that we've talked about a quarterback being a game manager is 100% been a detractor. It's been, oh, see, he's not as good. You see, he can only do this. He's limited. Now all of a sudden, Patrick Mahomes is not playing the level at the level we expect him to, and drop it and putting up 28 plus points. No. Now he's an elite game manager. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. He had an off half, and in every single game, even your most elite player is not going to be the best, and he's going to need in a team game like football. He's going to need his other guys to pick him up from time to time. And today, or on Sunday, Patrick's defense picked him up. I'm not saying he did nothing. I mean, shoot, him and Travis Kelce again. I don't know how the Ravens didn't take Travis Kelce out of the game plan, but they didn't, and he was 11 for 11 on targets for 100 plus yards. So clearly Patrick did some work. But again, I think most of it happened in the first half. He played a half of football. They need to recognize that. Someone needs to recognize it. Stop acting like he did everything. He didn't. It's a really ridiculous sentiment. But I'll move on because otherwise, we just digress. And again, I do like Patrick Mahomes. Don't get it twisted. Then I really cried foul. Yeah, the Get Up show yesterday, they were bugging. There were a couple of things wrong, and I already covered the one. I'm gonna cover the two, and this one is sincere. And I've heard this actually on a couple of other mentions. Zay Flowers pulled off a spectacular catch. Spectacular. I think he had his team down to like the 15-yard line, somewhere ridiculous. But then he has to, while on the ground, shove the defender, which he would have got away with. That wasn't even the bad part. That was fine. But then he literally stands directly over the man, spins the ball. He didn't just toss it away. He spins the ball and does a post-up pose right over the top of the defender. I mean, listen, there should be like a literal clip of that particular play that they show to everyone who plays football. This is taunting. This is exactly what taunting looks like. You're in football, y'all talk to each other all the time. Y'all say the most rude and disrespectful things on the field all the time. We don't hear them on the microphone, on the TV, but I know because the players come out and have said, oh, we say some things to each other. So I know y'all talk to each other, but the actual acts, the things you do, have to matter. And you're supposed to be playing a professional level of your sport. I'm sorry. You're supposed to have sportsmanship, gamemanship, self-discipline. And you're going to stand directly over me and y'all going to act like that wasn't taunting? I don't understand what y'all think taunting is. I feel like y'all missed the definition of it. Go check your dictionary, go look it up, and then go back and watch that clip and know that Rob Dollar said that is exactly a demonstration of what taunting looks like in sports, period. So for everybody, including RC, go straighten up. Stop the hugging. I don't like the hugging. Let other people's balls be free. You don't got to hug them. Let it go. All right. Because, again, I'll just be bashing. I don't want to bash. I want to get into what the conversations were and give y'all my input. Let's move to the next one. We have First Take. First Take. They had the, we've talked headlines a lot, and I've gotten that from the big heads, the big media heads. So I'll rock with them on this particular situation. Bigger headline: Mahomes win or Lamar loss. And this was on First Take. Stephen A. He likes to look to the pain and the darkness, and he likes to really soak that in and big that up. I'm not that guy. So for him, it was about Lamar losing, wanting to drag it out and make it be the worst thing ever, which is not, really not. I'll talk more about why it's not in a little bit because there's other questions that I'm going to address, but it wasn't really a terrible outcome for Lamar. I mean, obviously he wants to win the Super Bowl. Everybody who's playing in the game in the NFL wants to win the Super Bowl. He didn't achieve that. So yes, for him and for the goal that he set, it was not the successful season. But looking at it like it's a more bigger thing that he lost when he just signed a contract. He's got years still to play. And he has a young group around him. I don't know why anybody's acting like it's the worst thing. They learned and grew from this experience. If they are back in the playoffs next season, which I fully expect them to be, just like we have to go, if the Chiefs are in there, you got to be scared. You're going to have to be like, well, if the Ravens are in the playoffs, you got to be scared. So acting like it's a big deal that he lost, I mean, if you want to call it a big deal, it can only be a positive one. Because like I said, he gained experience. But if you're acting like it's the, I don't know if he'll be able to climb back up this mountain. I don't know if his confidence has been shaken. Y'all are bugging. Y'all are tripping. Stop it. Again, you're looking for that pain. You wanna wallow in it. That's the Stephen A. way. I'm not down with that. On the other side, we had Dan Orlovsky and, of course, the man right now, Mr. Shannon Sharpe, owner of Club Shay Shay. And I was with them. I cannot understand how anyone would pick to have the biggest headline be something about someone losing when we have an opportunity to celebrate someone who is winning. someone who's returning to the Super Bowl for the fourth time. The fourth time. And has a chance to win his third Super Bowl. I mean, listen, I'm not saying he did it all by himself. Again, he had a whole team with him. The Kansas City Chiefs are looking to win their third Super Bowl, not just Patrick Mahomes. But he's part of the story. He's a huge part of the team. He's 100% the linchpin of success. So, I mean, we're not going to pretend that the story of Patrick Mahomes is not real. Super real. Listen, this guy's gonna have books written about him. Okay, that's with an S, not a single book, like books. So, yeah, no, this is part of that legacy. Him making it there allows all of the people who love to talk the GOAT debate and want to see, you know, the next one come up. He's again giving y'all. He's giving y'all material. He's giving y'all fuel. He's giving y'all ammo because you know, he gets this third ring. The pace that he's sitting to catch Tom, it starts looking ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Real ridiculous. I mean, I'm just saying there's a lot of respect to be given, a lot of love to be shown, and for me that's the bigger headline. I want to talk about a winner. I want to talk about someone going on to try to make greatness. I want to talk about him and Travis Kelce. Trying to, you know, set a mark, you know what I'm saying? That's going to be hard for anyone to come along and pass. So I think there's a lot of great legacy building that's happening with this win by Patrick Mahomes, and to not feature it above trying to talk about losses. I don't know. Like I said, if you're a fan of, you know, misery, you go ahead and be a part of that company. You know what I'm saying? I'm not down for misery, so thanks a lot. Let's see. First take also had, did Purdy put all criticism to bed? And this has kind of been asked on all of the shows, to be honest with you, just in one form or another. And I mean, I would think that he has personally, but that's just not how the world works. There's always going to be someone who wants to, you know, needle or, you know, nitpick. You know what I'm saying? I'm done really with that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna run into somebody in my circle that's gonna talk it up, and it's gonna be one of those things where I just shrug because it doesn't make sense. It's gonna be a thing where they can't create. What they're doing is creating a special circumstance. They're not being genuine. You're not being genuine if you're looking at Brock Purdy and you're still doubting him. If you're still doubting his ability to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, you don't make sense. If you're pretending that he's a quarterback, a bottom half of the league quarterback, there are 32 teams. He is definitely not 16 or lower. He's right now literally in the top 2. So acting like he's less than is ridiculous. And sure, we've seen in the past flash in the pan quarterbacks who do great during the regular season, but then when the playoffs come, you know, they either they fizzle out completely, or you get that 1 year wonder, and you go, whoo, and then next year it's a whole nother story. Well, Brock Purdy was in his first real playoff game last season, and then he showed up this season, and he gave plenty of tape for everybody to watch, and he's still in the Super Bowl. I mean, is it true that he's in a great place? Absolutely. Again, people acting like you don't need that special combination of the right quarterback and the right coach and the right fit as far as team. It's like you're not paying attention to team sports. It doesn't matter how great any one player is in a team sport. You gotta have the complementary pieces around you. Well, Brock has all the right pieces around him. And I'm not gonna be mad that he fit into the system and is successful. Listen, there were 4 or 5 other quarterbacks that had Brock Purdy's opportunity before Brock Purdy. None of them are there still because they couldn't bring the 49ers to where Brock Purdy has. They couldn't perform and get the most out of the players in the locker room like Brock Purdy has. So sitting around and continue to debate if he's good enough is silly. Again, this question was also written as: has he solidified himself as a franchise quarterback? Again, the answers are all the same. Yes, obviously. Why would you even bother questioning it? But I get it. TV especially. They say stuff because they got to find stuff to talk about. But this is a ridiculous question to seriously actually debate. There isn't really a debate. Brock Purdy is a better than good, way above average quarterback. Now, elite, we would have to define some levels because elite is a special group. You know what I'm saying? Patrick Mahomes is elite. So I don't know where he would fall. That's the conversation. But like I said, better than half the quarterbacks that started in today's NFL. I know there's a bunch of people out there that are probably like, oh, better than half. And there's some people who want to pick, again, people with names who come in with hype over Brock Purdy, and I think that's silly. You want to pick Justin? You want to pick Trevor Lawrence over Brock Purdy? Feel free. I'm not going to do that. He hasn't won as much. Sorry. He's going to have to figure out how to win before I pick him. That's all I'm saying. I won't go down the list. There's plenty more. Basically, there's only a few that are ahead of him, like automatic. The automatics, of course, are Mahomes, Burrow, Josh Allen. The list is really that small almost, I think. Oh, Lamar Jackson. Yeah, look at that. I'm at 4, and I'm having a hard time being like automatically these people are better than Brock Purdy. We got a serious conversation after you name those 4 or 5 names that I just named. Like somebody, Dak Prescott, please don't make me laugh. He's not supposed to be a starting quarterback. If he's a real starting quarterback, we'll see what he does after Dallas is done with him. He's not going to be there for much longer. This is last year coming up, as a matter of fact. And we'll see what happens. He's not that good. We'll see. I'm gonna work that into a segment in the future when I bring in some of the other heads, the other fandom. We're gonna talk ranking of QBs from this past season. Oh, that's gonna be good. I'm gonna give my guys some prep time and everything. We're gonna be firing off. That's gonna be a great episode. Be ready for that. Once the season's over, QB rankings is coming your way. All right. What else we got? Well, then we move over to first things first. First things first, is Brock getting enough credit? Well, he is in the MVP. I debated this a lot because, again, I do hear I hear quite a bit of the criticism that he gets, and it really does irk me. But I had to be honest about, is he getting enough credit? Because he is in the MVP race. He's literally got enough votes that he's going to be at the ceremony and decked out. He's there. So, with that being said, where is he supposed to get the credit from? I mean, his teammates give him all the credit in the world. If you're in the MVP race, that means there are some enough writers and pundits out there that are giving you credit, because otherwise you wouldn't be in the MVP race. I mean, and realistically, those are the only 2 groups that actually matter, FYI. But as a fan, I definitely give him his due credit. You know what I'm saying? And I know if you're a 49ers fan, you definitely are. It's all the other people. Anybody who's not a 49ers fan and can't be impartial or analytical, they're all, he sucks, he garbage, he need Debo, he need McCaffrey, they're gonna bring out the list. Like, again, anybody who's winning has talent around them. So that's not even a real detriment or takeaway type of thing. As much as people want it to be, it just isn't. So, but again, he's in the MVP race. His teammates big him up and love him. His coach loves him. I'm going to just go ahead and leave it and say, yes, I'm going to say yes, he has to be getting enough credit at this point. Because, again, what he's shown and proved is that he is a starting quarterback. Now, true, if he wants to move even further up the ladder in terms of credibility, yeah, he does have to start doing what we say all really good quarterbacks have to do, which is win. You're going to have to get those chips. But guess what? He's in his first opportunity to get one right now. So I'm rooting for you, kid. Let's see what happens. I didn't say I was picking him to win. I just said I was rooting for him. Don't nobody freak out. I'm not making a pick right now. I don't know if I'm going to even put that out there. It's really tight. We'll get back to that. All right. Last but not least, speak. 2 items. First one up, was the Ravens season still a success? I mean, I get it that there's the whole thing where the goal is to win the Super Bowl. If you don't win the Super Bowl and that's your goal, then you feel like you failed. However, failure at when you're talking football, when you're talking professional sports, you know what I'm saying? Failure to win the actual championship really doesn't speak fully to whether or not your team has continued to grow. And I think that that's super relevant, very essential in terms of really defining success as at the team level. Because you're supposed to, be building your team to become a champion. It doesn't happen like that. Otherwise, every year there'd be someone else winning the championship and we would see it coming from a mile away. But it doesn't work that way because it takes time, it takes a process, it takes coming together with the right group of people and having that synergy. And until you have it, it won't, things will be elusive for you. And then even when you do have it, if you go against someone who's also got it, that's the level of caliber of challenge you've got to raise your game to. So, again, I think the Ravens were a fantastic team this season. And I thought that they, showed out in a number of occasions. But they just ran into a team that was a little too much for them. And honestly, a moment that, in viewing it and seeing it, it just felt like the moment might have been a little bit too big for Lamar especially. I'm not going to say everybody because, again, that defense, the Ravens defense did their job. They were not shook at all. They were 100% prepared and ready, and they did their part. Lamar, I think the moment got to him a bit, and I feel like the pressure was on them, a lot, but that's what makes greatness, man. Pressure makes diamonds. So while I know that there's still room for them to grow, I think them making it to the AFC Championship is a huge step in the right direction. It speaks towards, again, the level of talent that they have on that roster. And so, again, I just look forward to some more years of seeing him try to duel it out, honestly, with Patrick Mahomes, with Joe Burrows, with all of those guys. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be real fun. But, yeah, successful season for sure. Salute to you, Ravens. We'll move off of that. I don't think there needs to be too much said about it. And then last but not least, not just like this one, biggest winner from last Sunday. They went through the panel. I'll tell you who they selected. So the host, very good host, by the way. Shout out to you, Acho. He kind of parses things sometimes, though. He be getting away with some stuff because he's the host. He's a little extra spicy. You know what I'm saying? He picked Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy, the combination. Like I said, it's okay because, we do tend to think of quarterback and coaches as a combination, like, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. There's the Roethlisberger and Tomlinson. It's just, there are combinations like that, you know what I'm saying, where, again, when they start producing success on a regular basis, you go, okay, they got it. that's the fit. You know what I'm saying? And so again, I do see this fit between Shanahan and Purdy, and you know, it looks like it's gonna be something that, like I said, people got to look out for some time now. And we're gonna see if they can't carry it all the way to the Super Bowl. But you know, this could be the beginnings of a great new quarterback coach tandem with Shanahan and Purdy. And again, I look forward to it. Shanahan's always been considered a very elite coach, great game planner, scheme guy. I think more than anything though, the GM, oh gosh, former NFL player himself. Oh, I can't think of it. Is it John Lynch? You know what? I'm not gonna misquote him or misname him. But the GM of the 49ers, fantastic. Him and Shanahan, fantastic. The way they pulled in and brought in amazing talent to fill out that roster. That's what the real trick is in the NFL. It's finding a way to fill in that roster, and they've done it magnificently. So I gotta say that's a pretty good pick, Archo. Shady, Shady was on some, you know, for reals but funny, because he said Travis Kelce, which, you know, Travis Kelce definitely a winner. You know what I'm saying? Because he had a very colorful start to the season where he's fighting with his own teammates. Definitely part of the, you know, again, sad part of the beginning of the season for Kansas City with, you know, just off plays and drop passes. But also part of the ultimate reason why they were able to string together those wins near the end of the second half of the season and get into the playoffs. And you can't deny his impact on last Sunday. Like I said earlier, 11 targets, 11 receptions, over 100 yards. I don't know that you can ever say anything bad about Travis Kelce, but you can always say some more good, in which that's what Shady did, because he, of course, had to bring up the fact that he was, greeted after the game by Miss Swift herself. You know what I'm saying? Giving that whole congratulatory mwah, 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 and all that. You know what I'm saying? Again, he's winning. He's winning on the field, off the field. I can't argue with Shady's point. You know what I'm saying? He's doing what he does. You know what I'm saying? He's living a great life. I can only salute. I mean, use the right hand. Salute the king, and he's out here. He's out here trying to rock the crown for real. So that's a decent pick, Shady. Like I said, a little fun, a little colorful, but accurate, but pretty accurate. And then Joy went with the easy with my pick, Purdy. You know what I'm saying? Again, just continuing to stick it to all the naysayers, to all of the teams, and all of the GMs of every in all of the NFL. Again, this was Mr. Irrelevant, picked not just in the last round, but the last person, the last pick. He's in the Super Bowl, y'all. Year 2. He's in the Super Bowl. Anybody who's out there calling themselves a talent scout, anybody who's out there assessing talent, you're GMing, you need to go back to the study books. You need to, you know what I'm saying, get back in the all 22 grind sessions, because you missing stuff. Obviously, you missing stuff. Y'all still missing stuff. You missed Tom Brady, and now you've missed on Brock Purdy. I'm sorry to, you know, I'm as a New Englander, it does feel wrong, and you know, to mention those two names together, because Purdy ain't done enough yet. But I just love a Mr. Irrelevant. He makes me nostalgic for my guy, and that is really a big part of what makes me want to root for Purdy, because I see some of that in him. You know what I'm saying? That opportunity, you know, that chance to snatch opportunity and really ride it into greatness and create your own legacy. I really want that for him. I think it's a great story, and I think he's in the right place to make it happen. So I do like that pick, Joy. And then of course James Jones went with Mahomes. Again, you can't really argue with any of these answers. Mahomes, you know, he's on his way to his fourth Super Bowl in a row, I think it is, again, and like I said, trying to get his third ring, and doing it without Tyreek Hill, without the other weapons that have left the squad, and Yeah, no, it's a solid pick. It's honestly a no lose answer though, or question here. Biggest winner from Sunday, because again, all you got to do is pick somebody from one of the two winning teams, and your answer is correct. So, um, you know, I think I would say the biggest winner though, seriously, would be the 49ers. Would be the 49ers. Nope, scratch that. Not the 49ers. They're good, and they do the fans. That's who the biggest winners are. Us, the fans. Because we're going to witness a fantastic Super Bowl. Fantastic, I say. Because I think these two teams are stacked. I'm waiting to see Kansas City really try to be pushed to have to, again, match the pace and the tempo of a team that's putting up points. I think that'll be a real challenge for them. And can the 49ers do it against a truly stout defense? Because again, this Chiefs defense is knocking people around. They are stuffing it down their faces like you don't get nothing and you'll like it. So we'll see. It's a great clash. Two great football minds on both sidelines. Shanahan on one, Reed on the other. Let's see who comes through with the better game plan. You know what I'm saying? And who can execute. But we, the fans, are the biggest winners from last Sunday because we're going to see an incredible Super Bowl. All right. Well, I rambled on for long enough. Appreciate you if you tuned in and stayed through to the end. Again, I am on social media on Facebook. Check us out up next with Rob Dollars. And keep on coming back to the channel. Keep on coming back to the view and click on the views because we need them, man. I'm trying to grow here. So hit me up, get at me. Salute to all. Enjoy the game.